Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. I got tired of the office, so I thought we'd come out in the garage and film some videos. And of course, it's just as quiet as it can be until I set up this camera and start recording. Then we have cars going by, we had a plane go over, we had a helicopter go over. So you're just going to have to forgive my noise pollution. I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about evil speakings. Peter warns all believers of 4 traits that we inherited in our sinful nature. 1 Peter 2:1 says, "Therefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings." Well, all these have to do with malice, and that's the first one. Malice is your desire to do evil or harm to someone else, and it's usually done with your mouth. And a trait is a characteristic that is passed on from parent to child. John 8:44 tells us, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Guys, listen. That's something that we inherited in our sinful nature. Whenever you're backed into a corner, the first thing that wants to roll out of your mouth is the easiest lie to tell to get you out of the situation. I do it, you do it, we all do it. It's part of that nature that we have to try to conquer. You never will, but you live as though you could. So the first one is guile. Guile is deceitful cunning. Deceitful cunning. And it's simply a lie to try to trick someone to force our own way or our agenda to get what we want. It's a lie to try to force somebody to get what we want to get. And we're masters at it. We've been doing it since we were 2 years old. You tell your mom, "I'm starving to death. I need a cookie. I'm going to die if I don't get an ice cream." You know how it goes. We keep doing it. We're still doing it today. So the next one is hypocrisies. Hypocrisies is the condition of a person pretending to be something he's not, especially in the area of morals and religion. Hypocrisies. You want to find a bunch of hypocrisies, a bunch of hypocritical people? Just go to a church. They're all over, pretending to be something you're not. Every Christian is guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. We all are. We hate to admit places that we're struggling. We hate to admit areas that we failed. We want everybody to think that we're the most powerful Christian that's ever been. We wouldn't say crap if we had a mouthful. Everybody puts on that show. People, listen. The reason we hate to admit that we're struggling, we hate to admit that we fail, is because usually it's because other Christians will look down on us. Because as Christians, we love to look down on those that sin differently than we do. Don't we? Sure we do. The next one is envies. Envies is a feeling of discontent, resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. Envies is looking at someone else and thinking, "Man, I'd love to be them." People, listen. Everybody that you would love to be is putting on a show. They're all putting on a show. They have their struggles, and they're absolutely struggling like everybody else. You take a look at some of the most successful people, like Robin Williams, for instance. Here's one of the funniest men that's ever walked the earth. He had money, he had fame, he had everything you could ever want, and he was one of the most miserable people on the face of the earth. That guy had more demons harassing him than you could ever imagine. And the list is endless of all the people that have everything, but they're just absolute miserable. People don't ever desire to be someone else or desire what they have. Just be thankful for who you are and what God's given you. This is what it says in Philippians 4:11-13. This is Paul speaking. He says, "Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me." People, everyone is walking their own path. And don't think that someone's path is so much better than yours, because normally it's not. You never know the struggles you're going through. And the last one is evil speakings. Evil speakings means speech that is absolutely profoundly immoral or wicked. Immoral or wicked. You know, I see people all the time that, I used to have this one guy, his name was Dan, and I worked with the guy. And people listen. He was so bad that when we would go into a building where women were, you know, like you go into an office, we'd pull telephone cables and install telephone systems and stuff, that he would say things that you would just like, oh, just make my skin crawl. Like, how can you say that? This is a professional building. You can't be saying stuff like that. But he always had a comment, a crude comment, usually sexual in nature, that he would just make about different things. And I hated it. I hated working with the guy, because he was profoundly immoral and wicked. People, listen. Peter warns us, you have to put a muzzle on your mouth. You have to put a muzzle on your mouth. You cannot claim to be a Christian and still have evil speech. It doesn't work that way. And we all have it. Naturally, it's there. Because it's a trait that we inherited with our sinful nature. But you have to conquer it, even though it's tough. So those are the four. Guile, which is deceitful cunning, try to tell lies to get our own way. Hypocrisies, pretending to be something we're not, that we've got it all together, that I am absolutely spiritually perfect and you're not. Ha ha. And envies, a feeling of discontent, wanting everything that everybody else has. And lastly, evil speakings, immoral or wicked things that come out of your mouth. Can't claim to be a born-again Christian and walk around and not try to solve these issues. We all have them, and people, listen, we're never going to solve them completely, ever. I mean, we're in this fallen state, and even though you're born again, things slip out of your mouth. Trust me, things slip out of my mouth all the time. But it's something we have to constantly work on. Anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.